Welcome to the Sugar Hill Podcast, where we focus our lens on the roots of our behaviors and talk about ways to improve our lives in the present, readying us for a journey of chasing our purpose in life. I am your host, Jeremy, author, coach, and speaker, and every day I wake up to help people operate at their highest potential through self-awareness. I hope you walk away with at least one thing you can implement every day to live the life you deserve. Today's episode will start an in-depth breakdown of my first book in the Peace and Purpose series titled A Gift of Peace and Purpose, A Survivor's Journey. The chapter that we'll be focusing on is titled The Golden Path. After listening to today's podcast, you will be able to identify if you are ready to walk down the golden path. The golden path. If I knew what I know now, I would do things completely the same, actually. For me, the golden path took frustration. It took being pinned in a corner. It took everything for life to get my attention. In my book, A Gift of Peace and Purpose, A Survivor's Journey, I talk about the golden path as the start to getting to your destination, which is peace and soul fulfillment, or the purpose of your life. For me, the start of that path or that journey was when I made a conscious decision that I was no longer going to be in the environment at work that I was. My manager gave me a basic pay communication sheet, which told me how much I would be paid for the upcoming year. And given that I felt that I was worth more, given that I wasn't too fond of the environment or the people around me, or really trust that many people, I just needed a way out. I know now that, of course, when we say things like, I want more out of life, or what's next, or what more can I do, life hears that. And not only does it hear it, but it brings back circumstances and people to help mold and shape you for exactly what you asked for, whether you know that you're asking for it or not. My walk, my run, my sprint, my crawl down the golden path was way more than I anticipated. What was traumatic for me, that I hope never happens to anyone else, is that all of the life circumstances that I had suppressed and didn't deal with 100% came crashing on me all at one time. I'm talking about being picked on and bullied when I was in school, inappropriate things happening to me as a child, suicidal thoughts, abusive relationship, suicide by 2 family members. It was just, man, that was just a lot for me to mentally handle at one time. And so in writing this book, I put the golden path first because I felt people need to know that if you want peace and purpose, there's a journey that you have to go on. A journey that's not easy overnight. A journey that you have no control over. You can't control the how, you can't control the when. You simply go down the journey. I feel personally that you are never off course with your destination, even if you are unconsciously making decisions. The difference between being on path or in the right direction, quote unquote right, with your destination is that you eventually have to go down the golden path, which will break down who you thought you were down to the core. It strips away everything that you have acquired in this life that is external to you, so that the core of who you are, who you initially were when you came into this world, is able to be molded and shaped through circumstances and people to be ready for the destination, which is peace and purpose. 5 things that I would tell myself or tell someone who's going down the golden path when you make the conscious decision to say, I want more out of life. Maybe what you want may not be peace and purpose, but if it is, the first thing is be honest with yourself. Are you ready to release control of the how and when? Are you ready for people to walk out of your life? Are you ready to shed materialistic things, your degrees, your car, your house? Those are possibilities. Are you ready to go down a path that you don't know how long you're going to be on the path? You don't know what's on the other end of that path, what you may encounter. You will probably have to deal with your past. You will have to create boundaries. There are so many things that you may have been avoiding in your present life that unfortunately, but fortunately, you'll have to deal with. Are you ready for it? It's okay if you're not, but be honest. Because again, what you say goes out into the universe and comes back in the form of circumstances and people, whether you know it or not. The next thing would be, given that this path is giving up the known for the unknown, you have to remain optimistic. You have to see the glass half full. Because when you enter into those circumstances with people, you are going to be tested in ways that you didn't even think was possible. And you have to have a positive state of mind, because you're going to want to give up. You're going to want to stop. You want to go back to how things were. But peace and purpose is at stake. While you're walking down this path, when you enter into those circumstances with people, you have to be intentional about your thoughts, words, and deeds. Be intentional. Be self-aware to know that what you say, what you do, what you think is going to mold and shape the path that is laid for you, indirectly and directly. Be intentional about who you're around, what you watch on TV, what you listen to in music, what you feed yourself, the energy that you surround yourself with. No, I'm not saying go into a corner or go into your house and lock yourself away. That would be counterproductive. But knowing that you have to live and you have to interact with people, knowing that peace and purpose is at stake, be intentional, knowing that your decisions have impact beyond what you can fathom, beyond what you can comprehend in your small mind. Next would be holding yourself accountable. You're going to want to give up. You're going to want to stop. We are being conditioned now more than any time to think things happen overnight, and that's simply not the case. Hold yourself accountable to make the best decisions for you. Every time that you enter into a circumstance with people, and sometimes without just yourself, hold yourself accountable to know that you are on this path to attain peace and purpose, knowing that on the other side of this path is a destination that will yield you boundless, beautiful reaping of the seeds that you've been planting during your path and during your journey. The last thing would be knowing that purpose always wins. You were born to fulfill your purpose. It's just important that on your destination or on your way to your destination that you have peace within yourself, so that way you are not shaken by what happens during this human experience. Purpose is a magnet that pulls you towards it, and every time that you ask for something, it uses circumstances and people to mold and shape you to be ready for what you're asking for, but with the destination of purpose. Remember, purpose always wins. I know that the golden path might seem scary. I know that the golden path may seem like this big giant that you can't get around. But as someone who is making strides by operating in their purpose, who has seen the benefits of running and chasing purpose while maintaining inner peace, who has seen miracles happen through divine chaos, it's so worth it. From this point forward, if you make the choice to walk down the golden path, remember these 5 things that we've talked about to ensure that your lens is super focused as you walk down the golden path. This has been the Sugar Hill Podcast. This is Jeremy, signing off.